Chimigwet, Alanis. Thank you very much, Alanis. I was sitting with her all night tonight, and I took her to the exhibition. We had fun. My partner and I, Paul, we walked into the Walker Court, and I said, let's sit down, help me with my notes for tonight, because I deliberately didn't want to prepare. Most of you have read what I have written, and I'm sure you're tired of that. But tonight I'm just going to start from how I got here. And I got here because I've met wonderful people like Alanis when I was in graduation in grade 12 in Manitoba at Assiniboia Indian Residential School. And that summer as well, I got a summer job with the Company of Canadians. And one of the instructors was Duke Redbird, who was sitting with Alanis and myself there. I couldn't ask for anything better than to be with such elders. I was only about 17. I wish I was that age again. But tonight I would like to share with you how I got here. It wasn't easy. And there's another person that sat with me at the table before I came up here, and her name is Faye Hebeshul. She and I both went to residential school. She and I are both victims. But at that time, I had no idea how to deal with that until I met this woman. She would send me poems in the mail. We didn't have cell phones at that time. And they helped me to the point that I was able, at one point, spend 50, maybe 55 days. Every day I would get up in the morning and draw one moment where I was abused, I was frightened, I was called names. Over 50 of them. Can't count now. Too old. They were so painful, they were so ugly, that I hid them in my closet. Not my gay closet, that was open. My closet for 2 years. A fellow curator that I worked with the National Gallery, with Land Spirit Power, her name is, she's a British woman, I forget her name now. The British will make you forget your name. Carla Townsend-Gall. I invited her. She was in town from Vancouver, one of the islands between Vancouver and Vancouver Island. And she came and I said, please come and visit me. I've got things to show you that I've been hiding. She came over. She was very close to me. She was very important to me when we were doing Land Spirit Power. She was the referee between Diana Nemiroff and I. Because Diana and I fought every single day. But we worked together, and I adore Diana very much. We're still friends, I hope, you know. We still talk to each other, and I have a great respect for her. Anyways, Charlotte came, so I got my embarrassment out, showed them to her, laid them all out. She looked at them and she said, oh, Robert, they are so painfully beautiful. And I said to myself, oh, you're kidding. And you know what? I brought them out. I showed them to the public at the School of Art, the Art Gallery of the School of Art. And York Wilson Award decided to buy them for U of M, my alma mater, because this is the place that was close to my parents, close to my siblings, because my sisters went to the same situation. I remember Vivian, my late sisters, Vivian and Catherine, leaving the residential school on Friday afternoon, 4 in the afternoon, singing, yelling in our language because the whole week we've been forbidden from speaking it, or even saying hello to each other in the hallways. That's how fascist it was. But I also at this moment would like to thank the director of the Art Gallery of Ontario. When The Lost Children came out, he called me. He said, "How are you?" And I said, I'm okay. I said, is there anybody that you can talk to? He was very diplomatic, and I liked that. It made me open my heart. He said, "What do they say?" I said, "My sisters tell me that I need a ceremony." I knew that, but I couldn't do it by myself. And my partner is not Native, he's white, he wouldn't know what to do. And he's not even a Christian, he doesn't pray. Sorry, Paul. So at my conversation with Stefan, he said, we can give you one. And I said to myself, hey, this is an idea. So in the end, what happened is we brought in a bunch of, we are organized around the Walker Court, which somehow I've claimed, because now it's called the Anishinaabe Walker Court in a sort of superficial. I told Paul and Wanda that I was not interested in that I was, getting a retrospective, and he didn't want to make waves. I've been making waves all my life, and I challenged Diana with sort of, not collecting contemporary Native art at the National Gallery of Canada. They've tried to change that, but I would still give them a 0. It's not good enough, not at all. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. And anyways, back to Paul. We worked it out. Painfully though. And Stefan gave me a lot of strength and a lot of hope in Canadian people. He said, we'll do a survey. You want one? We'll give you one. He paid for the 7 women who are residential school survivors. We were able to create a circle around Walker Court with children's shoes. They sang. The leader came up to me and she said, would you like to choose a song? Of course, I had no idea. And I said, no, I wouldn't know. But I said, a lullaby would be good. She said, we have one. So she went and sat down, and the women started singing. And it broke some of them's heart to sing this lullaby for these lost children. You know why this was very painful to me? Because I could have been one of them. When I was apprehended at 6 years old to go to residential school, within 6 months, my 2 sisters and I got tuberculosis. But my mother knew the regional nurse. She quickly pulled us out of the reservation and took us to the Brandon Sanatorium. It's very painful. And every time I hear about it, I hear about things like this. It really hurts. Even I thought I had released it with my drawings, my experience and my abuse, but it didn't. it still hurts a little bit when I hear about the lost children. I didn't want to be painful tonight because it's a great celebration from the museum here for what I've accomplished. But I wanted to share this with you because I've written enough, bureaucratic shit, I call it now, in my own way. I made a lot of people angry at me. But I wanted to talk to you about, where we are now and what I've gone through. My first experience of art was my father and I think it was his uncle or brother, I'm not sure. I was about 6, 7 years old at that time. And this man would come to visit Dad. And people would arrive at our house, which we didn't know, but they were there to solicit the old man to draw them. He had a photographic memory. And they would leave. I wouldn't see anything happening. I was about 6, 7. And they would be gone. And I said, what's going on here? 2 or 3 days later, there would be a reunion. The man I forget his name, would come back to pick up the drawing. And it would be exactly like the person that asked to be drawn. When I went to school, I said, oh, wow, what is that? It's art. That was my first exposure to what creative activity can be or is. You're born with it. It's an act. That's a funny way of putting it, but you're born with it. So I go back to my residential school. The nuns begin to see that I could draw. So for the next 2, 3 Christmases, I would line up drawing Madonna and Child on the blackboards. They were very gracious. I loved them. Some of them were pretty nasty, but I still cared. That was my first experience about artistic life, artistic activity. And then I went to high school. This was up to grade 8 on the reserve. And then I went to high school in Winnipeg, Assiniboia Indian Residential School for grade 9. At grade 9, Father Chapu, principal, called me to his office. I said to myself, oh my God, what have I done? I got caught. Somebody squealed on me. I got in the office and he says to me, Robert, here's some money. It will pay for your drawing classes at Polo Park I just walked across the river to Polo Park in Winnipeg to get these lessons. And that was my first experience with art. Then I go to McGill, and I go to University of Manitoba, and I study the English poets, William Blake. I found God, visual God. And the words are there, too, And then I get recruited before I even finish my degree at the University of Manitoba to go to McGill. In McGill, I line up studying art history. And then I encounter, through the course, Delacroix. And my experience with him is in the European galleries here now. And I spent 4 months in Paris studying him and got to find out about the generous, beautiful people of Mississauga, the land that we are sitting on. Love these people. When they heard that I was working on Paris Ojibwa, I was invited by the chief and council. They sent a limo to pick me up and send me back in a limo to address their chief and council. What are you doing? So I had to prepare a lecture. I wish someday I'd get the opportunity and the know-it-all, the wit I have the lecture that I gave to them. I was so happy. I knew that I was recognized for what I was doing. Then I landed up in Paris for 4 months to study Delacroix and follow the path of the Mississaugas. And now it's here as part of the collection of AGO. That's my history with this place. Teitelbaum asked me one day to the Walker Court, said, Robert, you want to do something for us? Because I had already been a great critic of Luther Baumgarten, who I met at the Guggenheim, and him and I got along. And I saw him taking photographs of our names in the Walker Court, and I said to myself, "Oh, I can take pictures here too, because works of art, especially when it comes to lettering or names." I got my camera out, and the guard, of course, immediately came to say, "No, but if you want to take a photograph, you can go down in the ground floor and you can get your zoom." Of course, I just had a little camera. And I said, "What about him over there?" He says, "That's an artist." That's an artist. "Well, yeah, but I'm an artist too." Yeah, well, it didn't matter. I didn't even bother saying that. It's just nobody. So I said to myself, "Oh my God." Go all the way down and go up and say, "Hi." Yeah, there's a young curator out there that's just, making remarks, written something. It was in the Land Spirit Power catalog. He says, made remarks about my text work at honoring the Ontario people, the native people of Ontario. And I said, "That's me." And he looked, I thought he was going to punch me. He's German, right? I know that's a racist thing to say, but excuse me. But I liked him, and we got along very well. And he said, "Oh, we should have an exhibition together." And I said to myself, while I ran, jumped into a cab to go to the Museum of Modern Art, "I've got to get fresh air." And I said to myself, I would never do that, Not that I didn't dislike him. Every artist is free to do what they want. That's their responsibility. That's their integrity. That's just the way art is. We can't be fascist about it. The Nazis tried it. Publicity and information. Anyways, to make the story end, here I am now in this great institution with the 7 grandfathers in a retrospective, thanks to Wanda Bush. And all you people here listening to me. It's been rough. Not for me only, but my fellow artists, native artists. For a long time, it really hurt not to be recognized seriously by the National Gallery of Canada. When I worked at the museum as a curator, that was even much more, but at least it was wide open, I have to deal with an anthropologist. And when I was there, I was sent, go and find out who and write something about Alex Janvier, Bill Reed, Daphne Ogier, Norval Morrisseau. That was frightening. When I met Norval Morrisseau to write an article about him, it was at the Ramada Inn, 7th floor. I heard through Jack Pollock that I should wear a suit. I like wearing suits. I like wearing a suit. 7th floor arriving. There he is. And I'm waiting, and I say something in Anishinaabe, and he picks it up and starts talking to me. But his dialect is Ojibwa. I'm Soto. His languages are similar. And I said, how do I get out of this? Because I want him to give me information. I'm recording him. So he decides to speak only in that, so I'm recording it. But I left the museum, so that has never been transcribed. So anybody that is interested, it's out there, get the translation, And finally, this is a bit funny. He says, well, Norval, are you going to talk to me, or we're going to talk? So he gets up, goes to the bathroom, I said, oh my God, he's not going to talk to me at all. He comes out, and I could smell marijuana. Yes. And I said, oh my God, Well, yeah, I said to myself, he'll be able to talk to me now. Good. He sits down and says, okay, it's your turn. Well, I wanted to do this job. So I walked into the you're going to enjoy this. I walk into the bathroom, and there's on the sink a long soapstone carving of a penis. And on one end is where you put the stuff, and on the other end is where you suck the thing. And I said, oh my God. And I'm looking around the bathroom and says, are there any cameras around here? I've got to do this job. And okay. So I come out. He said, did you do it? And he comes over close to me, go like this. I said, okay, we'll talk. Thank you very much. That's my experience.